What is going on, everybody? It's Antonius the Gamer here, back with another episode of the Press Start Select podcast. I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Super SSS Rank and Mikkel Smith. Fellas, thank you for joining me for another episode. And we have a lot to talk about today, and only a certain amount of time to talk about it, so we're going to get right to it. But we're going to ease our way into the big conversation, the overlooming topic of the night, because there was some news that happened since the last pod that Tim and I recorded. And I figured we'll talk about that first. The news being that, Ed Boon's really ramping up the promo for basically MK1's version of Aftermath, right? Of the Chaos Reigns DLC. So we got two new DLC trailers, one for Sector, one for Noob Saibot that dropped like 48 hours ago. And, we now know the three characters and how they're going to play Cyrax, Sector, and Noob Saibot. We've seen literally the word chaos get name dropped like 6 times between the three trailers. And based off the gameplay and the animalities and everything, like, fellas, how are we feeling about the three characters that are being revealed for this DLC?
I like it, bro. I really like what they did with the cyborg ninjas this time around. Like, I do see the differences. Now, there were some parts that was a little bit, on the Marvel side, but overall, I am liking where this direction is going. And I'm also liking like the lore that they're also adding to these characters. Like, especially when the Sector reveal came around, I was like, wait, who? What? And I'm liking that factor because now you're kind of giving us more hints about, all right, for this current era, what is the ecosystem like? Like, you're hearing about this clan, that clan, how they all correlate within each other. And overall, and you definitely do see, especially like, for a character like Noob Saibot, you definitely see the differences between the Scarecrow template of like the MK11 version to the MK1. Yes. And that's what I was really concerned about. Is like, all right, well, bro, we went from having him as a base roster character from the last game to now DLC. How is he going to play different?
And he plays very differently. Like, I'd say to your point, like, he plays as like a combination of like his MK9 with the whole like using his shadow as like a shadow clone, and then a little bit of the MK11 of like everything as a portal type thing. Like, it's a good combination of both. I don't know if he's the most interesting of gameplay reveals out of the three, to be honest, but I think in terms of like what we were talking about in the previous pod of like how can they redo this character again, I think they did a pretty good job. Like,
I think they're adding a lot more of his story elements, because especially when you saw him like in the trailer when he spoke to Liu Kang, it kind of is like I gave you another chance and you still chose a similar path. So I do feel like we're going to see a lot more of like what is Bihan's level of thinking, because you could tell this round, like, I don't think he's under any form of like control or somebody's like lackey to an extent. I do feel like he still, yes, he has new powers, but I still feel like he has like a sense of autonomy.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, it's almost like his eyes are opened versus like he's like a mindless slave. Like, like where it's a little bit stereotypical in a way, but it's still like the whole like I was looking at the path and having opened my eyes to seeing it differently, and I embrace what this offers or whatever the case may be. S. Frank, what about you? What do you think about these latest character reveals?
I don't care.
Really?
I mean, he's still hurt from MK1, bro. So.
Oh yeah.
I don't care, bro. Like it means I don't see how, or it just doesn't. Okay, cool. Noob Saibot. I'm not really a fan of his redesign. It's different. It's different. It's like, okay, you spawn now, or like now you got a piece of the soul. What's the tornado, soul tornado inside you from Shang Tsung? I mean, maybe. Like, and it's just like a lot of the reveal. Like, should I go? I can't go crazy for this version of Sector and Cyrax. It's cool, the technology, how they integrated it, but at the same time, I'm like, do I even care? Because if they were there and then Noob Saibot and another character was introduced versus this guest character, I'd probably be a little bit more excited. It would feel a little bit more complete to me as far as a good DLC. but it's not introducing anything unique, in my opinion. It's not a totally new character that we're getting. It's
That's
not
a
like
fair critique. That's a
it's
fair
not a
critique.
totally new character that we're getting. It's not a refreshing character. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see this version of this character. Like, could you imagine if they did redid a Kodo Kanto where everybody's like, oh, damn, we can't really talk no more. That's what this Mortal Kombat's been giving us, you know. But now, nothing I have the story mode. They're not showing anything new in the story mode. We're pretty much gonna get the same cast. And do I want to follow Bihan, Cyrax, and Sector for a DLC story expansion? No. In all honesty, no. I don't want to see a story led by them. It's not gonna. It doesn't. If they were a part of a a segment, and then it would go on to something else, I'd feel a little bit more relieved. But it's, in all honesty, I can't really get behind it or excited about it for those reasons.
But do you feel, because like my thing was watching this reveal and roll out, and I think I'm still gonna wait to see how the story gets reviewed before I cop personally. But I think it's NetherRealm's way of kind of one doing justice by Cyrax and Sector, since they've been omitted for the past 7 years or so in terms of games, and then two, like I think giving fans, to Tim's point earlier, a little bit more behind backstory, right? Like I think a lot of it, even in MK9 when we got the reboot, it's like he was there for the first third of the game and then right back to business as usual. Burned alive, became new Cybot, became a lackey, and that was it. I think, yes, I agree that like, yeah, it's maybe not the most revolutionary thing we've ever seen coming from Mortal Kombat, but I feel like they're trying to really put like a definitive lore behind the Earth realm based characters, at least for this particular story expansion of like, you're getting all the ninjas, you're getting all the subsections of the Lin Kuei. Like Tim said, they're doing their best to like flesh out why these clans kind of branch off and do their own thing. Why, what makes this person different from that person. Yeah, it's not going to the realm as much as we would like. I do have the same question of you of like, okay, so how is Havoc going to work if all the new characters we're getting are from Earth realm? How does this work? Is it just him and his like creative character lackeys? Like that's not the most interesting thing in terms of a story, right? So that is definitely something I feel like they're gonna have to overcome. But I feel like as far as like, okay, if we ever wanted to put like the definitive like cap on like a realm, like this is gonna be it. Whatever they do for whatever their version of MK1 Ultimate is, cannot be Earth Realm again or Edenia again. Like I would imagine it'd be something else.
Yeah, because there was so much they could have did. As far as DLC, I was hoping to get see a return from Hotaru, because that's like Havoc's counterpoint. You know what I'm saying? Havoc's that's Havoc's nemesis. That's how I take it. That's how I seen it. Because right after the Chaos Realm, you go to the Realm of Order. I would have liked to see some of that a Hotaru version. Yo, if in the story mode, a Hotaru version shows up, boom, hey, listen, you need help, Liu Kang? I'm here. I also have all the Ridokus. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you never know, because remember, like I said, bro,
I don't, yeah.
the story is still a bit under wraps. So we probably just won't know. And I kind of do feel like Mortal Kombat's in a position where they realize the multiverse stuff kind of went a little haywire. So you could tell probably whatever where they stand with this universe, they want to make permanent choices. Basically, like
Hopefully.
choices that actually have consequences, and we can't just reverse time to fix it.
Hopefully, God willing. Yeah.
Because I really did see like what Liu Kang was trying to do. He was trying to bring redemption to certain characters. Because like look at Melina. Melina finally got a happy ending where she's
True.
not in Katana's shadow anymore. She's actually a full born person. Like she's not some clone. She's not some like
Experiment or anything like that.
yeah. And then she got a happy ending. She married Tanya. Even Reptile. Reptile is no more longer just somebody's lackey. Like he's somebody, who has a name. Like as Gambit said, "Oh, I'll make a name for myself."
Yeah.
And it's like, and you like this stuff. And then that's where I got a hint. It's like when Liu Kang was talking to Bi-Han, it's like, bro, I tried to give you another chance. Like, to be honest, even him and Scorpion, like, he realized that these were two men who are wronged since the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since the beginning, because now, they did confirm that Hanzo is an entirely different person. He's a child. He's a child, and he's one of the first new members of the Shira Ryu. So we might actually see like a younger version of him, whatever, and stuff like that. But it's like, even like how making Kuai Liang, Scorpion, like, I was like, bro, like, this actually stuck so well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really starting to feel this person's character. Now, especially however this Red Wedding may go, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I am starting to see a little signs of good faith here. I did feel like, they realized, the ending, bro, there was some budget stuff and we kind of just went too crazy. So I do kind of feel like they're trying to do some form of damage control. So, I mean, we'll see what the final product is.
And I'll say something else. Another thing is just like these characters are like, pick me, Marvel, pick me, and
That's
it's
fair.
just
That's fair too.
and
That's
it's
a fair
like,
critique.
and I'm like, dog, don't do that. Don't do that here. We did. I ain't come because I wanted to see. It's okay to have inspiration, but I honestly don't come to Mortal Kombat, or I would not come to Mortal Kombat to get like inspiration from a Marvel film, like you know what I'm saying? Because you guys' stories are very unique to me. There's nobody that has stories like you guys.
Yeah.
So why don't you stay within your realm?
And to be fair, varying quality, right? Like for every MK9 story, there's also MKX and MK11, which were very more fast and furious writing to me than anything else. Not bad, right? But let's just call it what it is, a blockbuster popcorn video game storyline.
Yeah, and I'm like, you guys did it so well. Even when you guys had games that weren't the best functionally mechanic wise, your story and the lore was still there. So for me to see how it ended, you have the best version of a Shang Tsung we will ever get, and you kill him. Like, that's not a villain you get rid of. And
did he die?
I mean, we technically don't really know because remember the ending, bro. It was like, well, the way how they handled the
does
characters.
the ending matter? Because you're playing as choose your fighter.
Because to be honest, bro, the only canon character that we technically saw was Liu Kang.
Yeah,
and there was no Blaze, right?
No
Blaze, no Tavon and Dagon, and they just don't happen.
Or it happened differently.
Well, Tavon and Dagon, they were hinted through like other, the character stories for the arcade, but then like how you said, bro, like they put too much into one title, bro. They literally just went from Deadly Alliance to the final part and just
to Armageddon.
Like it should have just been Deadly Alliance. These boys running amok. Then y'all go into Deception. Y'all redo that. However, y'all could do anything. Just keep the basis the same. And then we love what you did with the with Lin Kuei Warriors. I loved it. I said, this makes sense. Scorpion, their brothers. I'm like, man, you know what, man? You know what, dog?
I did feel like making Smoke human was a cop out. I was like, well, bro, you just like through the original lore, bro. Is like, bro, he's a Jin Cherokee. He has a demon inside him, Inenra. Smoke and fire is like, so he's just a regular human.
I feel like they probably did that because they didn't know what to do with that. Like they probably they wrote it and they're like,
But then see, that's where I hated is like, when you killed him off when he became a remnant, like, you saw the demon take over. But it's just like we never really got to see any gameplay of this type of character. It's like, and I kind of feel like that could have really introduced a lot of interesting aspects, bro. Like, here's this ninja clan of three brothers with supernatural abilities: fire, smoke, and ice.
And you know what I would have appreciated? Instead of him turning into a cyborg, there's like a demonic version of the cyborg. You know what I'm saying? But not quite a cyborg, more like a Kazuya form inside him. Because, why not, right? If you're going to do that with the...
Like the demon,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and versus what you did with Sector and Cyrax. You know what I'm
Like an
saying?
install character, pretty much.
Yeah, like an install character. I'm like, I would have taken that. A smoke being inside of him. I would have taken that as far as creativity. But no.
Yeah.
This Mortal Kombat, to me, I don't think it's gonna end well. I want it to. You know, I want your hard work and efforts to matter. But I just do not feel it. I don't have a lot of hopes because the story, it's like me telling, you're going to tell me the Avengers, imagine the Avengers Endgame just really focused on Wasp and Ant-Man. That's how it feels. And then you get a surprise from Mark Ruffalo as Mark Ruffalo.
I don't agree with that take. I don't agree with that
Sorry,
take.
that's how it feels because Sector and Cyrax are not going to carry a Mortal Kombat movie for me.
I don't agree with
You know
that
what I'm
take.
saying?
I don't agree with that take.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll tell you why. The reason why you have to do this for Sector and Cyrax is because you have to, one, like I said, address the fact that they haven't been playable in about 7 years. Right? Well, that's one. You haven't been able to play these characters in a couple installments. Two, you also have to find a way to justify why you decided to make them both women this time. Right? Like, let's just strip the fact. Let's just say that it's not a 1-for-1 of Sector and Cyrax. Let's just say that Sector is a name given. Cyrax is a name given. Who are these women underneath the armor? How do they get the name? What justifies to put them in this position? You need to do that. You can't just be like, they're women now.
No. Even if you did that with the cyborgs, in my head, I'm like, do I? So the Red Ranger and Yellow Ranger are running through Mortal Kombat to fight. I'm like, dog, I don't forget that they're women. That character slot. Do I want to play as them through this entire DLC? You know, that's what I'm saying.
It's hard to say.
Story. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, we don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, because the story is not out yet, we don't know if this is a justifiable decision. Right. So, like, again, another reason why I don't necessarily agree with that point is, like, you could have made that same argument about Reptile initially. Of, like, he's been a lackey in so many games. I don't care about this lizard man. He gets beat up in every single game. Why do I care? Only to find out, I actually care a lot. This is really good writing. Like, he had and, you know, like, even his whole, like, redemption and, like, the relationship he has with what's her face, Ashura. Yeah, it's like all that is interesting. Like, you're really giving this character a character arc now, where I'm like, I'm invested with what happens to him next.
No, but they did a great job with that character. So
why can't you say be true?
You gotta wait it out to see what happened with these.
The thing is, he wasn't a part of the main story for a DLC that you're selling me.
He was the main part of the campaign.
He was a part of the campaign, which is great. No, he's a part, which is great. Meaning, the Hulk in Avengers, that's a plus. But I want to see the main attraction.
Who was the main attraction from Mortal Kombat 1?
For me, it was Liu Kang, the ninjas.
That's who you played as for most of the campaign.
Which is fine, right?
So you got that story already.
For this one, they're not enough, right? Like, for example, if we were to get DLC to where you play as, let's say, I don't know, whoever, someone more interesting than these three
like
at this point.
Who? Give me the more interesting people.
I think
that's why I want to challenge it.
I mean, for me to say like who, it kind of doesn't matter now because who do you have that's going to carry that weight? That's not in the first half of the story.
Who would you have wanted?
He wants Hataru. Probably I kind of feel
Hataru. Maybe Hataru. Maybe Hataru. Characters that it makes sense for them to be there. Hataru makes sense to be there.
And that's why I think Jory is
Fujin.
Going.
Where's Fujin?
I kind of feel like he feels, well, to be honest, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Where's Fujin? Where is give me another person that's like that like should be there that's like, yo, why aren't you here? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but then to be honest, bro, we don't really know the full aspects of the new world that, you know, Liu Kang created because to be honest, bro, we don't even know if he created a whole new pantheon or not.
Right.
We don't know these things, and that has influenced other things. Now, you know, depending on where this story goes, I think we will have like a better projection of where these other characters are. You know, like in terms of the order round, because like look what they did with Outworld. Edenia and Outworld are technically one and the same now. Like Outworld is technically, this is the world of the fairy tale creatures.
Yes.
versus
This is
Earthrealm.
Narnia with murder.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, yeah, basically that. So like, and that's actually pretty cool. I mean, because Shao Kahn did absorb Edenia when the Outworld, but then this is a much more, I would say, picturesque version. But
Yeah.
we just won't know, bro. We really won't know. I do kind of feel like given more of the story with the ninjas is basically more damage control because of what happened in the story. Like after Bihan's betrayal, everybody just kind of like disappeared,
Yes.
and we was like, oh, so what's
What is
gonna
he
happen?
doing? How is he rebuilding this clan? All time. Yeah.
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 So like, yes, I get it. There's other parts that we wish that would be part of this story because, to be honest, yes, this Havoc kind of just came out of nowhere. But then I think it's also like I said,
And I like the character, but
but
I wasn't
MK.
taking that.
But then the thing about it is, MK is just trying to do damage control all around because look, Havoc was name dropped twice in MK11. He was name
Gosh,
dropped twice, and then even he actually, and then the thing about it is, remember, Havoc was also the main villain of the MKX comic. But then you saw what happened with that.
It's
which
non-canon now.
Okay. So to your point, Tim, that was cool for a comic because Havoc to me in my mind,
it was cool for the comic, but then, like I said, my biggest issue with MKX was they made too many permanent decisions
in the comic book.
that kind of
Yeah.
just messed things over moving
Okay,
forward.
in the comic book or in the game,
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess my last question, then we got to move on. To you, S Rank, is it something where you just didn't care for the Cyber Initiative storyline, which is again fine. Like I don't think it's something where like it has to be like why don't you like it? I think that's a fair thing of like I just don't like the Cyber Initiative storyline.
Like not this should have been in the first part of the story though, not DLC, because there was a lot of fluff in the first part of the story that didn't need to take place. Why couldn't you tell this story there, and then not do the ending that you did where it felt dry?
Well, I think to Tim's point, I think it was they're doing damage control, bro. I think that's what it is. Like I don't think they in their mind they thought to themselves like this is like this has to get to this point. I think this might have gone a little bit differently if the story had been received better by the fan base. That's my theory on it. I don't know if it's true, right? We may never know like the actual facts. Maybe there's a time crunch. Who knows? It just to me this doesn't feel like I don't want to say it wasn't well thought out. Like obviously there was some thought that went into this, but I think what they had to focus on changed once people were like, this story sucks. I was like, okay. Well, then rather than exploring the realms in the DLC, let's fix home. Let's fix home base first and kind of branch out from there. Yeah.
Well,
all right. So
we can move on.
Yeah. So to move us forward, this next game, I mean, I gotta say, I got a question, especially for Tim on this, about this topic. So the game that we've all been kind of curious about, the PlayStation exclusive release, right? Astro Bot is now among us. It's out for release. It's getting 8s out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, 10s out of 10s. And I gotta say, Tim, I am surprised. Like, for those who don't know, like I've always known Tim to be the one to fully support this game is just fun. So like when I first met him, we started talking about video games. Of course, you start talking about the mutuals, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. Tim was like, "Yo, but I'm playing a Little Big Planet right now." I'm like, "Little Big Planet?" Mind you, this is in college, and of course, like who cares what you're playing? But it's just like I would have never expected someone to be like, "Yeah, Little Big Planet," like Sackboy. It's like really, and that's just been consistent with your whole personality the entire time I've known you. So when I see Astro Bot, that feels like the love child of Little Big Planet. You're like, yeah, I didn't cop it day one yet. I'm like, man, really? Like, I would have thought you would have been in the store day one.
Adult life is the reason.
Fair.
Different
fair.
times, dog.
Fair.
Harsh times. That's a great movie, by the way.
A fair retort. So before we get into it proper, I want to at least play the launch trailer in celebration of Sony releasing a game that didn't die a week later. A game that actually got
turned on the Ether beat.
After being able to bounce back from Concord, deserves at least some acknowledgement. So
It's not gonna make Concord numbers back though.
I mean, it won't, but you can't. You gotta take take a win when you can.
Yep, bro, that sealed the deal right there, bro. Within the first 5 seconds of the trailer, you already had an idea.
Yeah.
It has too many things working for it, man.
Right. It's like you can't complain about the graphics. They chose a graphical style. You can't complain about the gameplay. Everything they're showing here looks completely different from the last part of the trailer.
But it's actually good.
Yeah.
It makes sense. The games that you're playing are fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, why couldn't they do this with Mario?
But that's what I'm saying. It feels like a Mario for PlayStation in the best way possible. But like, I'm not saying that with a slight. I'm like, this feels good to look at. I'm sure probably even better to play.
What happens when you let people be creative? I'm just saying.
No, you're right. I have no retort. You're right.
So like, I feel like this cures depression, and I'm someone who hates depression. This will jot up to my top 10 games.
But isn't that? And we'll talk more about it when the trailer wraps up. But like, isn't that what video games are supposed to do, bro? To some degree.
Absolutely.
Like that cinematic pivot that we started doing, like post PS3, Xbox 360 area. I'm like, I wish that would just go away. Like this is just, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, every game's a post-apocalyptic era where my dad is halfway turning into a zombie.
Right.
My dog is my best friend.
Right.
I will definitely have to say this: Game of the Year nominee.
Yeah, nominee. I don't think it's gonna win, but nominee.
You'll be surprised, bro. Like I do feel like, all right, what they did right here was all the right steps, man. It is definitely a good spiritual success. I'm not even going to even say to just a Little Big Planet, but just to the legacy titles of Sony. Like when you were seeing the different avatars, for the Astro Bot, it's just like, bro, I had to pause. Like, bro, I forgot some of these franchises even existed, bro.
Yeah.
Even existed, man. So it really goes to show you, man, the people who made this, they care. And, especially being like a studio under the Sony brand name, they said that, bro, we want to show up. And that's what I really like about the Sony studios. There's a way to pay honor to each other. Because, we've seen it happen with Insomniac. We've seen it happen with Naughty Dog. We've seen it. What's the
other
other
one? The
one?
Horizon developers. When they in the God of War
Guerrilla Games.
Guerrilla
yes.
Games.
So like there's ways to do it, man. And I'm very very happy for this, man. This is a real great title. The support is there, and we just see how far does it really go.
Yeah.
It took a tutorial installed game, and you took it to greater heights.
Yeah. It's in a lot of ways from everything that I've seen so far with the reviews. I'm like, bro, this is granted. It doesn't single-handedly fix the problem, but it feels like a direct answer. When we had that pod of like, where are the mascot characters in this generation? Sony was like, here you go. Here it is. Here's this game. It's going to be an amazing platformer. It's going to make you think of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. It's going to make you think of every Mario comparison you can, but on the power of the PS5. And we're going to pay homage to our whole like discography. And you already know we're going to turn Astro Bot into an icon character. The plushies are coming. Yeah, the Funko Pop's coming. You know what I'm saying? Like the marketing starts now, I'd say, on like Astro Bot.
Yeah, that team. Because as far as art direction, man, I was like, man, when I was playing it, because my homie had the PlayStation, I said, yo, this feels, looks, and is just like stress free. Like I like this world. I'll turn it on and let it run, just to, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just that appealing to the eye. That's the type of vibes it was giving me. And so now I'm like, this is a very good, well directed, well created game. They need to give these people props, man. And kind of let them have fun the next game and the next game after that.
Yeah.
Let's
Don't put them
not hope it gets
into the Sony like like
you have to
assembly line.
produce.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Or don't turn them into Insomniac, where it's like we're putting the company on your back. Go Lil Wayne this right now. Go run Cash Money for all of us.
Yeah.
What you gonna say, Tim?
I also feel like, this opens up the floor of discussion and, also like to entice Sony, like, well, bro, you're sitting on so many properties. And because I know there was a comment the other day, I think one of the Sony heads was like, oh, yeah, we're lacking in IPs. And people were like, what? Like, and this is a prime example. It's like, bro, like you're sitting on so many things, but you're kind of just so overly focused of these cinematic action adventures.
Yep.
But then it's like, outside of Rift Apart, when was the last time we had a platformer of this magnitude? Or when was the time we had like such a rich RPG, like, Legend of Dragoon and things of that nature? But then it's like, yeah, you keep relying on the Final Fantasy franchise, but then where's your own?
It's not. Can I say something? It's not. Final Fantasy is doing what I hope to see more of.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, and I hate when people like I'm not giving Wukong Game of the Year. I'm not going to give it to Game of the Year. It doesn't, it's a great game. It's cool. It's fine. It's fun. But like Game of the Year over Final Fantasy, which is, dog, it's a complete pizza pie with your favorite toppings, wings, garlic bread, and a bottle of Chianti, if from Italy. Like, what is? And the thing is, Sony needs more of that. They need more of that. I want to see more. Why did you stop? Okay, you don't have to make Sly Cooper anymore. Make a game.
Well, actually, they need to finish.
I'm saying in the sense. Oh, okay, so I'm saying, like, for example, I don't know if how far the story is, but thank you. I don't know if the story was completed, but like, yo, you need games where I can breathe. Give me another Astro Bot. Give me a new version of Crash Bandicoot. You guys have, okay, what type of, give us games that, maybe these might not be recognizable to children, but maybe let's get a game where everybody could play. Let's get a racer in. Why do I need it? I don't want to play for the life of me a Grand Theft Auto all the time. Not Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo all the time. I want to play something a little bit more liberating. Can I play an F-Zero? Can I play a game to where we're on mechs and we're just racing? A mech driver battle race game? Something fun.
But I think that speaks to the point you made, S-Rank, a couple pods ago about Xbox, right? Of like, we don't know what the bar is for Sony, right? Because, we've all seen the rumors and the things that have been confirmed so far about how there was a Crash 5 in the works. He's supposed to cross over with Spyro. It was going to be like a team-up adventure, and that got canceled. And it's like, well, if Crash 4 sold well, the Crash repackaging sold well, you're putting Crash Bandicoot all in Astro Boy, what's the problem? What were the numbers you were hoping for with the Crash Bandicoot revival? Like, who doesn't like Crash Bandicoot, right? I'm sure Tim in a couple of years could show Crash Bandicoot to his nephew. Hey, here's this Bandicoot with pants who runs around with the Uka Uka mask and be like, yeah, I want to play that. It's there's nothing about that says like, I don't want to play this character.
And then to prove it to you, look at Ratchet and Clank, man.
Yes.
You think if they don't drop a new Jack and Dexter, I'm not going to play that? Jack and Dexter in middle school was like, the Jack 3's about to drop. People were outside waiting for Jack 3 to drop, man. I remember that. Jack 3. Jack and Dexter 3. It wasn't no Call of Duty Doom. We were grown men waiting. I know grown men was saying, I'm about to go get that Jack 3, man. Can't wait to have fun with this. And you do that. You make games that people want to play that are addictive. Like, did you see the canceled Halo game?
Nah.
They had like a Lego inspired, but they're Mega Bloks Halo game. They canceled it. I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, yo, you guys needed this. This is a Game Pass game that you put in Game Pass. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, yo, this is fire. Canceled.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I hope that. Well, I do think that the fact that this game was able to see completion The fact that Astro Boy is not like an
Yeah,
immediate icon
I'm
character
happy. I'm
is
happy for
like
that.
a vouch of like, okay, Sony sees the potential
Do
here.
they?
I think they do. I think they do.
I think. I'm gonna say. Here's why I'm gonna say they don't. Because when we're about to slide into next. That's why. That's why.
I mean, before we go all, before we go all jumping off the top rope, and like tag teaming in, Tony, like
I like that.
I still wanted to give them their highs, right? To give them their congratulations. Like for me, it's like it's only because I've been traveling so much lately that I haven't bought Astro Bot. But I'm like, I want to get Astro Bot. Like I don't.
Is it $70?
I think it's 60.
No, it's 50. Yeah,
It's even better. Even better. Right? Like it's not at a top tier price point. The
you know what
reviews
I
I've
realized?
seen.
Wukong is the same price as well.
Yeah, Wukong is $50.
Like, so like I was like,
Yeah, no, yeah, that's why I copped it. Yeah, that's why I copped
I'm copping, bro. I'm copping it too.
So like even when they said this whole 70 price hack is like, are y'all starting to scale back on that? Well,
I think they
not
are.
everybody, because Ubisoft, they shamelessly promoted Outlaws for that price.
Come on now, bro. The quote unquote licensing fees aren't going to pay for themselves, Tim. The Star Wars IP is expensive. We can't just get that for the free.
Whatever.
Oh my goodness, bro.
But I feel like the thing that's like with Astro Bot, it's like I think it's one of those things where it's like it is a test run, right? I don't expect it to sell 5 million units, right? It's not going to be packaged with the PS5 Pro, for example.
Right away.
Right, but I think that's okay. Right? That's okay.
Same.
But it just depends on what Sony wants. Like what's the projections of like what, when you see a game like that, like what do you see as a win? You know what I'm saying? Like what's the thing that says like, oh, okay, like y'all do like our IPs, and gets the CEO to be like, hey, let me dust off this vault and open this, these floodgates of IPs that you guys have been literally sleeping on for generations.
You know what it is, bro? And it goes back to, the conversation that you and I had. It's the free marketing. Where are the tweets? Where are the YouTube videos? Such an influx. Like, where's the database of, like, people participating in this particular topic? Because, for example, like, I did kind of feel like, everybody was asking so much for Crash, like, Return, Crash and Spyro. So they gave us Crash, the remastered remake of 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. Then they gave us the racing. But then I realized the racing, after 1 year, they stopped all support for it. I was like, why did you do that? Then you release Crash 4. Then you release this Crash Royal Rumble game that just came out of nowhere.
Which was a mistake.
And it's just like, okay, so where's this stuff going, bro?
But you know what? You brought up a good point, Tim. And my question is like, do you guys feel like some of the internet like conversation pieces are just people lying? Right? Because I'm like, I look at, for example, like the PlayStation Portal, right? No, I'm being serious. Like, look at the PlayStation Portal, and everyone collectively was like, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not great, right? It's not what we expected from a remote play device from Sony directly. However, it's been selling like hotcakes, right? So for everyone saying it sucks, it's trash, someone's buying it, right? So I'm like, what I'm seeing on the internet is not matching what's happening in real life. People are buying that PlayStation Portal by the droves. So I think with the tweets interaction and engagement, it's like it feels like that same that tired but true argument about the internet, where it's like it's a vocal minority of like, you guys say you want this, they give it to you, and then you don't buy it. You don't buy it, right?
And then the people who really didn't want it, who asked for this?
Exactly. Meanwhile, they're still waiting on year 6 of that game that they wanted that's been delayed yet again, if not flat out canceled. Like, people were sitting there like, I'm just waiting for the next Naughty Dog project. It's like, bro, Naughty Dog hasn't given you an original IP in about 5 years now. Find something else to play. They're about to give you the ultra remaster of Last of Us 2 for the PS5 Pro. Like, open your eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, go find something. Go find something else to invest your time and your IP in. It's like, granted, to be fair, it's like, I don't think Horizon is the IP for everybody, right? Halo is not the most compelling protagonist. But there's other things in this wheelhouse that you say you want. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You say you want it. Like, go play it and buy it and support it. Like, there's no reason why Crash 5 should be getting canceled when I see clip after clip after clip after clip of Astro and the Crash Bandicoot costume doing the Crash dance. Everyone was like, "Oh, remember this?" It's like, yeah, I remember it when they canceled that game that you guys didn't buy, that you guys said you wanted for years and years and years and years. Like, it's just certain things where I'm like, I feel like I'm in like a more of an incentive and a rush to go buy Astro Bot at full price, because I'm like, these are the games that I've been asking for from this console, from this company, and I want them to make more of them. I don't want to get it at a third party discount.
Yeah,
I don't want to get it used. I want
don't
them
do that
to,
anymore, man.
yeah, brand new copy. Count my unit. Please give me more of these, because this is what I said I wanted. Oh, sorry, you gonna say something? That's right.
What was I lost my train of thought.
Are you good?
But no,
I mean,
yeah, like that's okay, for the Crash Bandicoot, that surprised me, right? Okay, what was it that they didn't do enough? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's sold as much as they expected.
Okay, right. And then at the same time, are these marginal numbers realistic? People now, like, there's one thing that started to happen with the movie industry where they wanted to make their money the next day because this movie did it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that movie is not this movie. You have to judge it by the ruler of the movie that you're making.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't expect, if I am, let's get a properly game, Call of Duty, right? And I'm an investor, and Lego Barlocks Shoot 'em Up releases, right? It's not doing Call of Duty numbers. It's a failure. No, that's ridiculous.
Right.
Just Cause. We're an open world game too. Why aren't we making more than Grand Theft Auto 6? Excuse me? But we're Saints Row. Why aren't we making more money than we're the parody of Grand Theft Auto? Can you do Grand Theft Auto things?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. No. So like, that's my whole thing with these like, for Astro Bot, like, understand this investment is a long-term investment. It's gonna make its money back. Do I need my money right now? No. Can I wait the 2 weeks to get my paycheck? I've done it before. Right. And these guys don't make any sense to me. Man.
Y'all been selling crypto for 3 years now. You go wait a little longer to get your money back. Go ahead, too.
Now, I do have faith that Astro Bot is going to open the door for, remember how I
got my train of thought. Go ahead.
Okay. Remember how, when The Last of Us Season 1 dropped off and it increased the amount of sales, so people wanted to buy the the remake remastered. So, and, I've been seeing, some tweets that, Astro Bot is actually opening the door for people to explore some of these Sony titles that are available on the PlayStation Network, like the Sly Cooper collection, the Ratchet collection, this and that. So I am thinking, like, yes, just like how you just said, you can make your money over time. I do feel like, all right, you know what? Sony released all of the crashes back. Let me explore those titles. Yes. Let me check that out. Let me check out Spyro. Let me do this. Let me do that. And I kind of feel like that's where the power of this current, I would say, digital ecosystem lies, where this stuff is available to you now. And this is the generation that's going to cement that once you purchase it, it's going to follow your account for the rest.
Yeah, the backlog will always be there.
The backlog is going to always be there. So just indulge, man. So, yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful, man. I really am hopeful. This was definitely a win. And I'm glad that, it was, at least one of the new Sony studios got a win. I'm so happy. And that's where I was saying to myself, like, bro, where's the output from these studios? Like, you guys went on this whole campaign of, welcome to the PlayStation family, this and that, but what are they building? Because MLB, that platform, I always big them up because they make a very quality product. Well, that went multi-platform, which is actually, to be honest, a good win for them too.
Yes.
But where's everybody else? So Team Asobi, they dropped this. I am still hopeful that, the makers of Concord, that, they're not fired or, erased. I hope they come back from this in some way. Because I'm glad that Sony made a decision early, like, hey, yeah, bro, just cut it.
Yeah.
I think they're not gonna just drop 80 million and let it go to waste. They're gonna revamp it. I think
Yeah.
that's the best thing you could do.
But into what? Not, you can't do free to
I,
play.
actually, bro, you never know, bro. Like I tell people all the time, bro, at no man's skies, bro. It could happen with people.
No Man's Skies did it.
It could happen. It could
I
happen.
think because the thing is, I don't want them to lose too. But like some of the decisions you make design wise,
Didn't.
you got people redoing your characters in real time and getting 70,000 likes on it. That's not good. You know, Twitter is open discussion. If it goes on, if it spreads, if one creative person likes it, and then the next creative person likes it, then they tagged in
And
like this baby hippo, going crazy on Twitter. Like you seen the Twitter artwork of the baby hippos? Or you'll run into it now that I mentioned it. But one of the things I hope that don't happen with Astro Bot is that they choke it.
That's what we're all hoping for. That's what we're all hoping for.
Please.
Yeah.
I hope they don't choke it because this game seems to have a sense of true freedom, a healthy workspace. Whoever that team is, I'm hoping I hear good stories of the work environment. That's why we were able to accomplish X, Y, Z.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was listening to a podcast before we started and they were talking about that exact thing, that they did have a healthy work environment. They told Sony 3.5 years and got it done in 3.5 years. And every person on the team got to contribute to the designs and the ideas of the game. I'm like, what more could you ask for?
Go ahead and shed a tear, Tim. Go ahead and shed a tear. You feel me? Because boy, like hey, this did this amount of numbers in what amount of time?
Right.
And I think
you mean a healthy work environment and happy employees, that's a good product? It's crazy.
I heard this somewhere before. Then we hear it from that guy named Chuck that we fired. Yeah, call him back.
That if we make them happy, they'll make us money. Huh.
Yeah. I was going to say something, but I was going to the only thing that could hurt this momentum is exactly what happened a couple of days ago. But
that's a perfect way to transition into it. Like I think, again, we only have so much time to pod, and I already know this is going to take a little while.
You got the Ether beat ready?
Man, it's always on deck. It's always on deck.
You gotta play it. But we got a rant. So
I'm hesitant to press the Ether beat only because I do want to have a discussion about it that's slightly different from just strictly, again, just dropping the people's elbow on it. Because that's what I've been seeing all week. Everyone's like, $700. Ridiculous, right? And that is a 20-minute. Who do they think they are? Right?
All right, let's take it easy. All right, everybody else did it. I get you.
So if you've been in the gaming spirit, if you've been in the entertainment spirit, if you've turned on the internet or turned on your TV this week, you've seen Sony make an announcement that has rippled through the internet. Because even if it wasn't you as a gaming consumer, right? It's your girl who now crying because she got to buy it for you for Christmas. It's it's your parents that got to work the fourth job so they can put it in underneath the Christmas tree. It's
if you get that Christmas, man.
Right?
That's if you get a Christmas.
Right. I'm like, you were a bad kid. All of a sudden, there ain't no way. But it's like Sony went ahead and they did a 9-minute reveal, and they finally unveiled the much rumored, much delayed, had to come out at some point, PlayStation 5 Pro, with 3 key features. I'm not going to go too much into that. There's tons of YouTube videos breaking down everything and what they offer. Now, I will say to kick them a slight bit of bail. I like some of the decisions made out of those big 3 things. I like the fact that there's an automatic upscaler, so you're getting a better picture quality in your games. That's a good thing. I like a better processor, so your SSD is on overdrive. You think your game is loading with no loading times now? This one's going to really get it done. I like the fact that a lot of these hard drive intensive games are going to run better. I'm sure on a 4K TV, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to look amazing on that Pro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to sit there and act like these things haven't been accomplished. However, the thing that I have come back to time and time again with Sony is every time I want to be like, okay, here's a win for y'all, there's always an asterisk. Always an asterisk. And it's never a small asterisk, right? It's never something where I'm just like, I'm not crazy about this, but I'll get over it. It's a massive asterisk of like, there's no way. Y'all went through Q&A, testing, audience random asking questions, surveys, and be like, you know what? We're just going to do it. We're just going to do it. Right. So when I see that y'all advertise this device that is a mid-gen upgrade, you're advertising it with games that we've already had for a couple of years now. Right. And like when I saw The Last of Us, I'm like, this is already off to a horrible decision-making start. And then you're just like, look at the trees in Spider-Man 2. It's like, the trees, my man, the trees. Okay. And then to say all that and to say you can get it this November for the low price of $500,000 US. Oh, did I forget? Yeah, it's not coming with the disc drive. That's separate. That's another additional $70 to $80, depending on where you buy it from. Oh, and if you need a vertical stand, that's another $30 for that.
Nope. And all the games that you own from the entire life of PlayStation,
right,
are not compatible.
Yes, some of them will be, but some of them won't. Right? And that DualSense Pro
to me.
That DualSense Pro controller that we dropped, the one with the customizable buttons and the best, DualShock experience you can ever have in your life, doesn't come with the system either. You have to buy that separately. You're getting the regular PS5 controller with that one for $700 US. So if you really want a 1-for-1 from the base PS5 that you bought, it's going to cost, at least in America, over $800 for this system. And that's America. In UK, I think someone says like it's closer to 1,000 because of the amount.
Because of the euro.
Bro, what?
Yep. And Japan, it's crazy too.
Japan has to pay more. Well. Yeah. So
when they clearly want portables.
So I asked fellas, or before I ask, I do ask, but I asked with this: is this approach as, and again, for the sake of argument, as the undeniable console leader of this particular generation, let's keep that in mind. Is this a acceptable asking price for this system?
I would say, if somebody broke this down, which I do kind of understand, it's yes and no. It's both. It's both. Mm-hmm. This is a product definitely for the hardcore Sony loyalists that they just buy it just because. Because there are people who actually care about these specs. Mm-hmm. Like, who really micro and are like, yes, I see a 45% difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and they want it, and they will literally bank it out. Throw it out there. Now, I would say for the everyday consumer, no. I would say absolutely not. That is a overkill of a price. Because even for myself, like, yes, I do want to upgrade because I always prefer the more slim models than the big bulky ones.
Right.
So I will plan to upgrade to a slim. Now, let's just say, all right, if I had the money for this particular one, I would consider it. But then I really realized, I was like, what the real drawback for me was, all right, if I did want to invest into the Pro, got TV, all this other stuff, the fact that the disk drive, there's no disk drive option, because for me, I'm still a Blu-ray person. I still like all my Blu-ray movies to watch them because I like to have the ability for that access. Like, yes, all my games are digital. That's the personal decisions that I made, of course. And then, whatever I buy on the Sony store, that it's in my backlog. Okay, of course, that's cool for me. It's just the simple fact that you took away my choice.
Yes.
From the ground up. And then it's an attachment, bro. And I don't like too many pieces. I don't like that in my space. I don't like too many pieces in my space like that. So that was the kicker for me. So like, yes, moving forward, like, yeah, the slim is the best option for me because, yes, like, 45% difference. That's cool, I guess. I did like the upscaling, and yes, ray tracing and all that other stuff. That's very
Yeah,
cool.
2 terabytes of storage out the gate.
Yes,
Not bad.
that's what I was like. Okay, 2 terabytes, because like, bro, I be suffering some days, bro. Because bro, you upload these new games, like, oh yeah, bro, you got like 200 gigabytes. I like,
Yeah.
so now I got to delete something just to play
Yeah.
you. And bro, these patches, bro, they just be racking up,
Patches are
bro.
big too. Yep.
So like it has some good selling points, but it's like, bro, that price is just like it's not marketable in its economy. Now, yes, I do believe it's going to sell. It's going to
Yeah.
sell as because you can tell they're going to lump it together, and oh yeah, they're just going to generalize it. Oh yeah, we sold 200,000 more units.
Yes.
Of course, they're just going to lump it together because technically, yes, it's still the same system, but it's just a much more modernized version.
Deception.
But
deception.
yeah, but that price, and some of the specs that come along with it, bro. No.
Yeah. That's Rank. Your thoughts?
Oh man, if you had the ether, be ready. But we'll take a different pitch. Dog, what? No, man, that's insane. And it's for the die hard. It's insulting, man. Like, okay, so for example, it's 45% faster. I thought about it and I said, you know what? That's close to 50%, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not entirely bad as far as an upgrade, but I'm
noticeable
like,
difference for sure.
Yeah, but then some of the games in the ad were still running at 30 frames. They weren't running at 60. So it's like, okay, what games are actually going to be able to do? We'll have to wait and see. Can they actually do 60 frames stabilized with 4K? That's another thing. So for a $700 price point, that's insane. I thought it was going to be $600. $600? I would have been a little bit more forgiving, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
I would have been way more forgiving. Oh, that seems like, but the fact that you are selling me at 700 and it doesn't even allow me, here's why you want the PlayStation Pro. It had every game from PS1 that you thought you needed to throw away, you can now keep with you. What? Boom. And man, the PS5 Pro is now a valuable item. That is worth $700. I don't have to keep my PlayStation. I can get now. I got 2 terabytes of storage for every era of PlayStation on one device. Oh my gosh, kid! You know what you're gonna do to Microsoft fans? They're gonna be like, man, why? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
I'm out. I got Metal Gear Solid 1 right now. I'm gonna go play that. So it's done. You win. Yep. And now it just makes everything else. It makes it now okay. I don't care that you don't sell it with a disc drive. I'll pay the 80. Now, without me thinking, you got me to spend more money than I initially would have. But yeah, man, the fact that wasn't a focal point, you want to.
I also felt like, bro, so you showed us this whole presentation, but no new games showing like that correlate to what you're just saying.
No new games.
No new games.
But I think the just for the conversation piece, right? I think, and I said this during in the group chat when we were going through the announcement. I think that unfortunately, I don't think this is a good thing. I hate when companies do this. It's like you're taking the leading lap, right? You're clearly you're winning, right? Nintendo's off doing their own thing. They're not even in the conversation, right? They're going to do gangbusters with their games. But then you look at like your competition, quote unquote, is Xbox, and you're lapping them. You're lapping them at this point in the race. The problem is now is that you're treating this like how Apple treats their phones, right? Where it's like you get an Apple, right? You're going to get your iPhone 16. It's good. It's solid. It does what you need the phone to do, has all the smartphone functions. But if you want something a little bit nicer, you're going to spend a little bit more on the Pro. Not going to be groundbreaking, but you spend a little bit more. right? Or a Pro Max, which gives you even more than that. But I don't feel that from the PS5 Pro. It's, to me, it feels like we're winning, we're on top, our competition doesn't exist. And yeah, maybe you could do more with a Zune, but who's buying a Zune over an iPod? Right? Like that's what it feels like, of like the functionality of what we're getting in terms of like, here's how, like you said, S-Rank, here's how you cement yourself as the undeniable one. Here's how you Exodia the game. You're just like, we'll do the bare minimum, but you'll buy it because it's us.
And see, that's the double-edged sword of, consumerism, bro, because people are going to buy it. It's almost the same thing like how it was the PlayStation Portable, bro. You're going to hear all this yap, yap,
Oh,
yap,
it
wah,
sucks.
wah,
Oh,
wah, 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 wah. But then, when that system launched, guess what videos you're going to see over Twitter? Oh, yes, here's my 45% difference.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You thought Rebirth was pretty before. Oh my gosh. I'm not like it's and that's the other frustrating part of like, it's just the Twitter talk too of like, oh, the reports are in that it was the most disliked post on the PlayStation blog and da 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 da. People are in an uproar and yada 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 yada. It's like, but yet the disk drive attachment's already sold out.
Yeah. See, it's the psychology, bro, because people didn't realize like consumerism is also a mental thing as well, bro. Because people have studied it, bro. The Apple concept it's like an addiction to people,
Yeah,
bro.
you don't want to be left behind, right? you don't want to be the only one without it.
Exactly. You don't want to be left behind, right? Because to Joy's point a while ago, yes, you promote all these, aspects about 60 frames, this and that and the third, scale and resolution, and we want to see it. Like, yes, okay, now we're finally able to see it. But then the thing about it is, okay, so now that you put this console on the market, is that going to influence developers to really take the reins of these things? Or are they just going to, sit for the bare minimum and just release a product?
I'd say right now the latter, because to your point of what you said a couple pods ago, we still don't know what the PS5 could really do. We still don't. We don't. We haven't seen the full scale of what these devices are capable of doing. So it's hard to be like, here's why it makes such a significant uptick. Again, I'm not knocking the features. I'm like that, especially that photo upscaling. That's going to be a top tier thing in making that game. Those colors are going to pop off your TV with that scaler. But is that enough of like, this is pushing us to the next level?
And that's something else to consider, right? Like, do you have all the pieces in place as an entertainment hub to enjoy? Some people don't even know what we're talking about with HDR. You know what I'm saying? They're not playing at 60 frames per second. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing.
But that's fine.
That's $1,000.
That's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's like Tim said earlier, it's not for them. That's fine. Right. Like I think that's the thing of like, that's where I don't want to completely people's elbow them, because they're not, they are aware that this is not an every man's device. It's not. We're not dropping this so everybody can go buy one. I think for me, my issue with it is like I have a Samsung, right? I've been a Samsung devotee for quite some time now. It has all the features that I prefer. But one of the things that took a while and why it was harder to have the Apple versus Samsung conversation for me was because Apple was so far ahead of it in terms of features, right? Of like, I can connect my iPhone to my Mac, to my TV, to this, to that, to that. But what Samsung did is Samsung made enough steps in their ecosystem where it's like, okay, now I can buy a Galaxy Tag. Now I can buy the Galaxy Buds. Are they the greatest thing ever? No, but they work well enough for what I needed to do for my device. I feel like with Sony, it's like we've had the, again, going back to the asterisk, it's like there's enough stopgaps of like, even if I wanted to be a Sony diehard, I can't, because what you're offering me, I know and you know that this is not the best of your capabilities. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know that they could have done better than the Portal. We know that they could have done better than what they're offering with the Pro, but they're just not. They're just not, because they know they don't have to.
It goes back to a conversation that we had. Remember when we were talking about the latest Capcom collections being available on Xbox? Like there's some on a corporate level, there's something going on at Xbox like the industry heads know that we just don't. And you could
Yeah,
tell like this type of move was like, yeah.
we
And
got you.
I
We
kind of
won.
do feel like Sony knows like, yeah, bro, in terms of this market, we're running it once again.
Mm-hmm.
And this and because they feel like yes, this is justified, we're able to do it and we're about to just run it. And then like I said, it covers both bases because this console is more of a niche. It's more of a niche for people who actually want all these aspects. Like, why can't I live without my extra 45%?
Right. I need 60 frames per second. I need,
I
yeah.
need this, I need that. But then, there are some people like, no, bro, that slim model, I love it for what it is. It gets the job done, and there are certain people for that. So, like I said, there's going to be a market for both
Mm-hmm.
because they're not gonna cancel slim productions for this. Like, no, that would actually be insane.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, it's on both bases, bro. So I do feel like they're not really losing anything. But then on the gain side, it's kind of like, well, bro, like, what is there to expect for the future
Yeah.
if you're just gonna run us like this?
Yeah.
And I do feel like especially announcing now the pro for this, I do feel like this kind of does give me more confidence that this particular console generation is going to last longer rather than just push out something else. Because I said it, bro. Like I think there's too much focus on hardware. There's too much focus on hardware, and it kind of correlates to why I feel so passionate about Astro Bot is we need to get back to games.
Yeah. Yep.
To games, gameplay, the experience, like the hardware. It's just like how the guy from Cyberpunk. Like you just keep adding all this new stuff, but then what is the experience of this character?
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful to look at, and that's about it. There's no soul there. The eyes are glazed over.
You should have stopped at the Scandevistan, boy.
But you couldn't.
No, that's a beautiful metaphor.
But
Yeah,
you couldn't.
it's a beautiful. Like I think that's the thing, and of course you got to move on quick, a couple more of the topics, but like I think that's the thing of like that's the reason why like I joke about becoming re-becoming a Nintendo fanboy of like, yeah, Nintendo's not leading the world in graphics. Yeah, there's some definitely like quality of life things that they 1000% need to do with Switch 2. Like there's certain things I'm like, bro, like why can I not do this on my Switch? I can't watch, all I can do is play games. I can't watch YouTube. I can't use like a web browser. I can't do anything but play games. Like what is this? Right? But the thing with Nintendo is like, bro, Nintendo, one thing about Nintendo is they're going to give you a demo and they're going to give you a quality product. For sure, like when a Smash Brothers is dropping, that Smash Brothers is going to be polished to the letter out the gate. Super Mario Brothers to the letter.
Patch notes.
Why would you drop a patch when the game is already done well and been bug tested?
Yeah, boy's different, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's we're not quite there yet because, like you said, Tim, like there is that audience of we just need better graphics. I want better graphics. I want my 4K TV to sing when I turn it on, and that's cool. I don't think it's wrong when neglecting that audience, but the underlying thing about this that like I think we're in danger of losing is like it's not graphics that sell games, it's games that sell games. A gaming console without games is just a glorified streaming device or Blu-ray player. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like why is this even here if I can't get a gaming experience?
Now that latest one is not even the best Blu-ray player on the market no more.
Exactly.
I was like, bro, an attachment, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like,
they really settled Kaiba, dog.
But at least with Settle Kaiba, you knew you were getting the best of the best.
Yeah, you are. Even
fire this person because Kaiba Corp products don't crush this easily. That's how I'm like, you know what? I'll pay $20 extra for that can of water because I know.
I mean, that's the red flag for me is when homie said, "Yo, we don't have enough IPs."
Yeah,
that was red.
You worry about the wrong things. Wrong things.
You mean to tell me you guys have been leading for 2 years straight, and you don't know what you have inside your? Oh, hey kid, fire Ben 10. Get a new Omnitrix user, please. Y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta go, bro, because it just don't make any sense, man. Like, that worried me, man.
Yeah.
That worried
for
me,
sure.
man. So, and then Mike Cerny, man, that's his name, right? Mike Cerny, the guy who introduced the
Yes.
PlayStation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was for me. That man did not seem like a real person because the way he was talking,
which was beautiful,
which
he
was
seemed
hilarious.
Like a guru.
Yeah, and
we've noticed that players they prefer to get in their performance mode over visual mode. But what if we give you both? It's like, what?
Yeah. Oh man. But the thing, you know what is sick?
Cue the Harry Potter footage.
If they can get Death Stranding, Monster Hunter, Wilds, and a couple of other heavy hitter games to run at 60 frames per second,
it will help. It will help.
Inspire.
It will help.
But you're reaching PC prices, and that's where I finalize my point. $700 towards this, or should I put $700 towards that? And for the price I'm paying for this, that makes more sense.
I think that's a conversation worth a deep dive. Obviously not tonight. But I think I could still make an argument pushing back about that with the problem with PC is still going to be convenience.
Which is 1,000% understandable.
I can cut this on in a second. Cutting on my computer is not as simple. Still simple. Still, not that. It's not that hard. But it's not as simple as this.
Yeah, I get you. I personally don't have to update Xbox's OS, nor do I have to do PlayStation. They do that on their own.
Yeah.
Right? And that already is a headache in itself for anybody who has a PC. Oh, wait, is this chip compatible with this if I run it at this wattage?
Right.
No.
I got to update this driver and run the specs on this. It's not the use of it's the learning curve is high.
And then now these PCs come with nuclear
cooling systems. Yeah.
Just cooling system, make sure the chip don't fry. Like, dog, don't give me no Stark reactor, man.
Yeah,
I don't want no Stark reactor in my house. Keep
facts.
You feel me? But at the same time, if these companies are moving the way they're moving, my freedom can only be kept. Like, my freedom is at jeopardy.
Yeah.
The tragic part about this is like you have an entire collection and library that can't just go with you. It'll be like you're starting anew.
True, but you're building for the long-term investment at that point. Of like, I might have to restart this, but now I'm getting this Steam sale for $3 for the game. I can make peace with it. What do you mean? I don't have to subscribe to a platform. Everything's multi-platform for me because I have a PC. I think I'll do that. But to move things along, Tim, I'll let you take over the topic on this one. FighterZ got another patch. Dragon Ball FighterZ got another patch in which they basically was like, hey, every character can do everything they've ever wanted. And there was some internet pushback. I've seen both sides. I think there is an argument to be made about like freeing up the combat in the game at this point in the life cycle. It's a 7-year-old game, right? Like the people who bought it are going to buy it at this point. You're not winning over anyone new with this content. But how do you feel about the way they've handled this latest update to FighterZ?
It took some real deep diving because especially like how the way the internet works, they just show you the bad and just want everybody to run with it, like to go based off like surface level responses, like, oh no, this is what happened, this is how it is. But then I was like, no, bro, like you're just exploiting something in training mode. That's not gonna actually translate to actual like online matches or something like that. So I waited things to fizzle out, and I really took a deep dive and to really understand the product of what did FighterZ look like in the beginning compared to the way it looks now. And I was like, oh, okay, I see where they're going. They're trying to really give you that real heavy, authentic adrenaline rush experience. Like there was this one video that I saw it gave me that level of impact that when Broly Super Broly was fighting Goku in the snow and they were just going back and forth like dush, and then that other person come back and it's just like da 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 da, and it's like okay, I see what you're doing. You're trying to like give us that level of experience because first of all, especially with the current Dragon Ball properties out there right now, it's kind of like just like how it is with the PlayStation 5 Slim and with this new Pro. They're trying to like really solidify the niches. Like yes, this new Sparkling Zero is going to be of this particular type, but like no, this is this. Now, I am still happy that it's on PS5 now. It has rollback netcode, so you're showing me things that you want to increase like a level of longevity with it. However, my thing about it is, the biggest longevity is, characters. Are you going to implement new characters? Because, you kind of just went from, baby Vegeta straight to Gogeta, and it's like, well, bro, you kind of skipped like two pinnacle people.
And then decided to just drop Android 21 out of nowhere. It's like,
out of nowhere.
What's happening
again?
Well,
again.
Not necessarily. Because they have similarities, but they are kind of like different characters.
Yeah, she was broken when they first dropped her. They had to nerf her twice.
Yeah. So like I do realize, Fighter is going to be the tournament version. It's going to be the tournament version because, to be honest, I don't really. I mean, and I'll keep an open mind, but I really don't see how Sparkling Zero is going to translate to tournaments. Because that was the biggest thing. People want Dragon Ball Z involved in tournaments. People want that experience.
If it don't have the city level combat, I don't see it happening.
And I don't see it having the need to. Right? Like, I think
that's the only way.
No, it's not.
If you wanted to enter a tournament, I think so.
Put it like this. We looked at the Evo numbers, right? We talked about this. Mortal Kombat 1 had one of the lowest entries of Evo numbers in years for that franchise. Do you know how much Mortal Kombat 1 has sold as a game? It's lapping Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 just celebrated 4 million units. I think Mortal Kombat 1 did that like 3 months ago. So it being tournament viable, like, yes, that doesn't hurt, right? You become the darling of the fighting game community, but it is not the make or break of these fighting based games, especially a Sparking Zero, which again, like I said, is a party. It's a party fighter. You're not supposed to take it seriously. There's no way you saw that Hercule moveset and we're like, you know what? Hercule, top tier 0, day one. He's not built that way. Like, I don't think that's the concern with certain games of like,
muy bien.
Yeah, like some of these games being tournament viable has nothing to do with how much it's going to sell. Some people just like, I just want to have Goku Blue fight Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I don't ask for much. I'm a simple man. Boom. Day one copy. Pre-order bonus and everything. Like, I think that whole, like, it's because you guys are really fighting game purists. I get it. I understand that appeal of like, why not have it serve both, right? Like FighterZ did. FighterZ was able to appeal to the casual audience and the hardcore. I'm like, but they don't need to. Dragon Ball for years has gotten by off the strength of, you want to recreate this awesome move from the anime? Well, here you go. It's a tried and true formula.
All right.
Well, I mean, I guess to transition, unless anyone had any like last thoughts about fighters, like I do think, to Tim's point, I don't have anything else to add. I'm like, yeah, this is great.
I think it's more Dragon Ball Z than it ever was.
Yeah.
so to be honest with you, I saw the craziness people. I said, nah, I think Goku would do that if he had the controller. I think Vegeta would be just as ridiculous if he had. I'm glad they didn't show me what Hit was doing. You know what I'm saying? Yo, good. You gonna stay in the time? You gonna be like, is this Jotaro stand I'm fighting? Like
the world,
the world Requiem. Could you imagine if Jotaro unlocked the Super Saiyan form of Star Platinum? Star Platinum just grabbed the moon and absorbed it, along with the sun. We don't need that. You feel me?
I mean, I think the only thing FighterZ is missing at this point, they just need more characters. Like, I think if they're not going to drop a sequel,
but they're gonna move on. The collective energy is focused on sparking.
It feels that way, but it doesn't, because it's like every time we say that, Xenoverse gets a new patch with another character.
Yeah, but
Fighters
that's
is a new
just
patch. Just like,
Xenoverse. They turned Xenoverse into Dokkan Battle. Dokkan, it like on the platform because Xenoverse is. Hey, just let's throw $5 into the vending machine, slot machine, and see how much we get back.
boy.
And that's what they're getting, right? These people, like I'm saying, I don't know what country they're playing in, but it's got to be a foreign country to where like, yes,
Yeah,
more.
bro. They turned Xenoverse to from a fighter to an MMO before
They
our very
turned it
eyes.
into an MMO. So now when we get Blue Protocol, Dragon Ball Z online, it's a wrap. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
They probably say, "Yo, we're gonna focus more on our IPs when they cancel Blue Protocol." So now get ready for Blue Protocol Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Maybe
so,
we were a little bit too early with Dragon Ball Online, but now,
now
Xenoverse 3 online.
Xenoverse 3 online. Yeah, you're gonna have people driving cars and drag. I always wanted to drive Goku's motorcycle.
Yeah, they have
Like,
the developers behind the desk. Like, we always looked at Final Fantasy 14 as an inspiration. It's like, bro, what? A game that can live on past a console cycle.
Boy. I see it because Dokkan Battle is people are addicted to that thing.
Bro, it's an addicting game. I'm not gonna hold you. There's been a couple times where I'm like, I could spare a few dollars. I'm like, nope.
And then Legends again. I'm like, yo, people playing like how many downloads this game got?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, kids coming up to me, Mr. President.
Look,
do you know Dragon Ball Z?
Yep, look who I just pulled.
I said, son, I was. You were merely born in it. I was molded by it. I adopted the dog. I'm looking at it like, yeah, you don't understand what I see with my eyes. So, yeah, Dragon Ball Z Fighters is more Dragon Ball. And then, if anything, I think right now when they do these games, for example, look at what Guilty Gear did. The next Guilty Gear they're going to release, it's going to be like XR plus crack. Because they're like, hopefully, right? But I think they're going to go back to that because they saw that the footsies wasn't it. Mm-hmm. People want Guilty Gear because you can do crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. Not because we can play this tempered Russian roulette chess match. No. I came to play checkers. And that's what I want.
Yeah.
You can keep chess for Street Fighter or Tekken. But right here on this 2D side scroller, I want madness.
Yep. I want my characters. I want insta kills.
I want foolishness to take place. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's gonna happen. It's more Dragon Ball Z. This is gonna be the precursor to the next Fighters. They're gonna do another Fighters
at some point. I would think so.
They're gonna do it. It's coming.
It's sold very, very well. Like, there's no reason to not do another game.
It sold well because there was a high drop, so certain games didn't do what people thought. You don't think so? Okay. I think it contributed. Though.
I think it did. Right? Like you can't deny. Like, why play Marvel Infinite where Gamora looks like she was stepped on before she walked out the door when you could play one of the best looking Dragon Ball games in years, and it plays like Marvel vs. Capcom. We got Marvel vs. Capcom right over here.
Yeah, but I'm Goku. I'll stop that too. They make a Naruto game like that Bleach game is gonna sell.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That Bleach game is.
I figure we'll go into Bleach again the next.
Oh, I'm so okay.
No, you're fine. I'm just saying because we've had so many topics. I was like, should I bring it up? Like, no. To our pod. All
right. I guess we're gonna wrap it up now.
Yeah. No. We still got more time. Okay. A couple more things.
Okay. Speaking
of Sparking Zero, they dropped the trailer. Now there was a heavy debate about whether or not GT would even make it to the base roster,
and they did.
All right, we thought we were going to get sold. Tim. You're right, Tim. They sold us the bare minimum GT roster of like, here's the things that we know that will at least get the hardcores happy. And if you've been waiting for the GT representation you've been hoping for, like me, who's been wanting GT Goten for forever, too bad, too sad. Here's 3 versions of baby. Yeah. Because I feel like at this point, it's like, again, Tenkaichi to me has always been a party fighter of like, it's more so about the representation than the depth of the fighters. So I'm like, bruh, like y'all, at this point, you put in the entire chronology of Dragon Ball Z. Just put in everybody. Just slap a suit and tie on Gohan in his adult form. Oh, here you go, just GT Gohan. Cool, perfect. Why not? Why not? Why not? Right? Like at this point, like you're giving me Pan. I don't like Pan. I like Oob. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain characters where I'm just like just just give it to me. If we're gonna do
Z-Pan
this,
is more interesting than GT
at this
Pan.
point, yeah, Super Pan is more interesting than GT Pan at this point. You know
Super
what I'm saying?
Pan, yeah.
Like, it's just certain things where I'm like, if we're gonna go this route, just give it to me. Right? And like I like GT Goten's little fight he had against Baby. It was really cool. Give it to me.
We getting that Daima expansion DLC.
Oh no, for a fact.
Vegeta turns level 3, baby Vegeta. Baby, that's the true baby Vegeta level 3?
For a fact. So here's the trailer. Yeah, and
well, that Unreal Engine is they are dancing there.
It's you against the universe. See ya.
I think this was a very wise decision, to be honest with you.
Of course, I do too. I don't think it was. This wouldn't have sold as well as DLC as people might have thought it would. Because everyone wanted to buy Super Saiyan 4 and call it a day.
Yeah, now that you think about it, for real.
No one's like, man, if only I had GT Goku.
GT Goku got me angry, man. Like, it got everybody so angry they had to age him up.
Yeah.
Fight between men, huh? That's what's going on. Let's keep fighting till one of us taps out. Die, scum!
Like I said in the group chat, when I saw this, I was like, nah, I'm on Tim's side a little bit. Cut this from the roster. Cut the fat, please. Just give me Super Baby 2 and Great 8. That's all I need.
You won't get away with this, baby! With the power I gained from Boo, I will take you down!
I like Oob.
Revenge is mine. Grandpa.
And this is when they secured about 10 more pre-order
You
bonuses.
better be ready. I'm feeling pretty strong right now. Sorry to tell you this, but there's too much of a power gap between you and me. I will rule.
I ain't gonna lie. Ain't Goku talking crazy, dog.
I know.
Wow. It makes me want to see Toriyama touch this, man. But
I know.
rest in peace, man.
Yeah.
Daima got me mad, dog. And I was like, I'm liking this.
We'll talk about it briefly.
Punishment for abusing the Dragon Ball.
And like I said in the chat, bro, like to sit here and be like, yeah, Super 17, who's that? It's like, excuse me?
Yeah, for real.
Like, I understand he's not everyone's cup of tea, but in terms of like mechanics, it's like, bro, this man has a machine gun hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain characters where it's like, I get it, like, they're not like the quote unquote fan favorite, but what they bring to the franchise should be enough.
You think Mr. Popo's gonna get a trailer?
That would be a funny meme, like, of just like to put him in the game of like,
But he's a genius.
No, we acknowledge the lore behind him of like, maybe he's the strongest of all.
I can feel it. Fusion!
I feel like this trailer should have been a little bit more built up to release that Goku.
Time to wrap up.
I mean, but what else would you have wanted?
No, I mean, you could have slowed in, you know, it could have been, it was more of an editing thing, but.
Yeah, I mean, enough for nothing. Some of these character models still don't look quite right to me, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you.
They need more time. They need more time. Because there's time, like this Goku right now, he looks incredible.
Yeah.
But then in the next shot,
you're like, what happened to the detail? Yeah, no.
Yeah,
there's a few times. I'm telling you, that Kale Kefla model, I'm like, bro, this looks good.
It did not. It did not. And compared to Xenoverse's version.
Yeah, that was the latest Sparking Zero trailer. And I mean, I don't know. Again, like some of the models on these characters just look, they're super inconsistent.
They're not connected with me either, man.
Yeah, I'm just like, something about that Gogeta face just didn't look right. But then it's like, but then I look at the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I'm like, but this looks good. Or like the Omega Shenron, I'm like, this looks good. And it's just been that way with all these characters. Of like certain characters, they look like they spent more time in the oven than other ones, literally.
So
they're playing favorites, bro. They're playing favorites, and you could just tell even with this roster, bro. Because to be honest, I don't like the fact that that baby Vegeta is basically the base form of GT Vegeta now these days, and I don't like that. I feel like that's
Yeah.
very lazy. Also, the fact that there's no Super 17, there's none of the other Shadow Dragons. Is like we kind of just skip straight to Omega Shenron. It's like, bro, you had Nova, you had Ice.
Mm-hmm.
There's ways to make. My thing about it is, if you could give us giants, you could give us all the Shadow Dragons, bro.
Yeah. And they all have unique gimmicks and unique attacks. Like, you can make it work if you
Yeah.
really wanted to.
And so I just kind of feel like, there's just certain areas where they just cutting corners, man. But then, at least, depending on how these last 10 slots go, you could just kind of gives you like a projection of what is DLC to come.
Well, because we are the prophets of this every now and then. I've called it. I've said it again, and I'll say it now. Like, I still think the movies become DLC. I think most of the movie content, maybe not everything, right? Again, the rumors are that Fusion Reborn Gogeta and Z Broly make it into the base roster. I can see that. Helps sell the game more. But I'm like, the rest of them, 1000% DLC. But the question I will ask y'all is like, do y'all think that they can get away with essentially the launch trailer being, here's all the Dragon Ball characters. Enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think
It's already pre-ordered.
Yeah, because like I said,
My cousin pre-ordered it. His dog pre-ordered it. His neighbor across the street pre-ordered it. The thug that robbed somebody last week around my block pre-ordered it. I'm just like, they all pre-ordered it. The entire community.
it goes back to what we said about consumerism, bro. Like nobody wants to feel left out. It goes back to like, look what they got away with for Kakarot, Xenoverse for years, bro. And and that's why I kind of feel like they're favoring the party style fighter games much more, and that's why I felt like fighters got slighted. It's like you're favoring these particular properties because you make more money out of these because they can sell you anything, bro. They can sell you costume packs, they can sell you colors, and that's why I felt like FighterZ had that original arcade game type of style where, like, no, bro, if you want to earn these colors, you earn them through fights.
But the question I have for that, Tim, is like, I feel like because fighters, like you said, and I've agreed every single time, like because fighters lets you play so uniquely with these characters, like I can't imagine a world in which if they dropped a fighters trailer tomorrow, like, hey, you get to play as Beast Gohan, Orange Piccolo, Gamma 1 and 2, like as fighters characters, people would be foaming at the mouth because they know that they're going to play completely different from everybody else on the roster. Why not put it in that game too?
It's complicated, man. I mean, we'll see as time goes by. But then to go back to Sparkling Zero, like, yeah, it's come to the point people are already invested into it. They just want it out at this point. Like, they're doing, the typical promotions just to build the hype, to get the YouTube numbers. But people already know what they expect, bro. It's the same. To be honest, bro, like, this is like a weird hybrid of Tenkaichi 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Like,
with a little bit of Raging Blast sprinkled in every now and then, but
yeah, like, and you could tell, like, yeah, there's certain roster decisions I don't agree with because, like, how did you have all these people in the PlayStation 2 era, but then this era you're kind of just like, oh, you want to sell it to me? But then we already know that's how it is, bro. And it's up to you, the person with your dollar, to really say like, hey, do I stand for this or not? But then obviously by your dollar and your pre-order, you do. So that's what I said, bro. They about to run their pockets dry.
Yeah, and I think the that's a good point. I think the tricky thing with a game like this is you can tell that they've obviously been paying a lot of attention to the Tenkaichi modding community over the past couple of years of who the characters have been created in those games for inspiration, and I think that's a good thing, right? Like I would probably argue that the GT representation was kind of subpar. Yeah, there's certain characters throughout the overall game. I'm like, man, again, it's kind of crazy that they're going to sell us movie characters. But to be fair, it's like there are enough characters in here to warrant a purchase if you like Dragon Ball, right? Like I would find it hard to believe that someone's favorite did not make the roster with a roster this big. And that's where it gets kind of tricky of like, you can't say your favorite character is in this game because they are. They've given you every era of Goku, all with complete, like unique cinematic rush attacks. They've not completely done away with, but at least reduced the amount of characters that have full power energy wave and super explosive wave, right? Which is always a plus in my book. Like, oh, he actually tried. Okay, good. But then it's like, it just, going back to the favoritism of, like, we were talking about this before the pod, Tim, of like, why does Gotenks feel so copy and paste? Like, why does he feel like, I'm like, it's just like, yep, give him Ghost Kamikaze attack. Yep, give him the super donuts and move on. Like, there's nothing about it where, like, going to your point, Tim, about redundancy, like, nothing about this character feels interesting between his forms. It just feels like more of the same.
It's the aesthetics, bro, and and that's the theme that I'm saying is just everything is about fidelity, like the appearance of something versus the actual substance, and that's why personally for me, I don't really care for this game. I don't. I feel like it is actually a step away from what we've established before. And yes, I get it. All it's a different Dragon Ball, IP compared to other things, and everybody's allowed to be different. But I just kind of felt like, bro, like this particular gameplay. Why are we going back to this? It's just 5 moves. Have a good day. Oh, if you want to do this attack, you gotta upgrade to the other form. Like, okay, yeah, in-game transformations. Okay. Oh, now you got 5 new moves that you could do.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
and if it's a party game, why not have Goku just be Goku and then you transform or you treat it like a groove?
Because it looks better from a marketing perspective. That's what it is. Like we've been alive long enough, bro. You know the game already. The biggest roster on this generation of anime fighters. Like that's really what it boils down to.
Over 300 characters.
Yeah, 300 unique characters.
300 characters that half of them I won't play because they're useless. Yeah. Towns Village 1 man 2.
Right.
Villager 3. Like, nah. You gonna let me play
Bobby,
as that old lady that got
yes.
murked? You gonna let me play as that old lady that got murked by Boo? Because they thought the world was ending? I think another thing that what I was gonna say is
Spopovich. Okay, day one.
Spopovich, day one. Oh my goodness, I get to slap Videl around. Oh, dog. Armored Boma? Really?
Boma with the Uzi. Oh man.
Wait, what's that? What's her cousin name? Or
actually, that would be fire. I wouldn't be mad at like a young Bulma with like the capsules as like her weapons. That'd be an interesting mechanic. I think to Tim's point, that's what's missing from this game.
More of a launch. Because you remember launch was the one with the weapons.
Yeah, but like I think to your point, Tim, I think that's the thing that's also missing from this party-esque fighter of like, yeah, you don't have to necessarily make every character unique. Like that's asking for too much. But giving them still some gimmicks here and there of like, yeah, normally I wouldn't pick Nail, but Nail can like rip off his arm and regain health. And that's what makes him cool, right? It's like the only mechanic we've always had with Ginyu is like, oh, Ginyu can body swap. So if your whole thing is to get beat up so you can switch. It's like, okay, cool. Let's do more of that, right? Can I go Goku Kyoken times 20 where it's like my health is burning through, but I can punch you and half your health bar is gone. That's a good mechanic. Like this makes you is incentivizing me more to pick this character versus, well, I like this color explosion versus that color explosion. Or like this is my favorite form. So I picked him. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my childhood dreams of taking my action figures and smashing them together, in my backyard, coming up with scenarios in my head.
Man, he was the greatest writer at the time, boy.
Oh yeah, fan fiction was going crazy.
My fan fiction, my toys.
What if Frieza and Kid Buu came back, time traveled, jumped Gohan as a kid?
Boy, he's crazy. After they call a couple boys in and have some apple juice shots. God, another mom.
Right.
Yeah.
But then Goku, Super Saiyan 5, comes from 200 years in the future. Uses the instant spirit bomb Kamehameha. Like
yo, that Daima expansion pack
is gonna go great. That's a great transition. We just go straight into Daima, right? Like,
so it's winning me over, man.
Well, let's talk about what's been pseudo confirmed first, right? Okay. So, although it hasn't been concretely stated, the leaks so far, which have been pretty accurate up until this point, says that Daima is going to take place about a year after the defeat of Majin Buu. So So before Super takes place.
What a waste.
But yeah, within that 10-year gap, right? That's League 1. League 2 is apparently it is kind of like how we got Toriyama's take on Broly. This is going to be Toriyama's take on GT. Of like, if he was to do GT, this is what he would have done for it. League 3, apparently there's going to be some transformations that have been, I don't want to say fan requested, but definitely things that were quote unquote overlooked. So the most prevailing rumor is that Vegeta gets Super Saiyan 3 at some point during Daima. So, fellas, what? And again, remember, y'all were the same ones, and I was in agreement with y'all that we wanted to see more lore of the expanded Dragon Ball universe.
Okay. Here's what I meant. If I'm gonna do GT, in my head, I would have. Hey, Toriyama, listen. We don't need fake Trunks. We don't need to. It doesn't make any sense for us to go. Okay, you want to add Akai? Okay, but could it be Piccolo, Goku, Vegeta, maybe Yamcha, maybe Krillin, the Z Fighters on a trip in GT format? That I would have taken that, right? And can we not stay stuck between a timeline? Just saying.
That would be nice.
Can this be past? If this was past Dragon Ball Z, like the actual Dragon Ball Z where Oob is whatever, I would have taken that. Okay, because I would have treated Daima like, okay, that's one and done. Now let's look towards the future for real. You get what I'm saying? But the fact that this is again in between, not even after Super, and Super's not even after Dragon Ball Z. What are we doing, dog? What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
Fair point.
What are we doing? Like, I would have taken that. Okay, Vegeta can turn Super Saiyan 3. What's the point? He doesn't even use it anymore.
In Super, right?
So if the thing is now a waste of time, this is a year after. So, and it wasn't...
Oh, that's
wasn't
right. The toys.
Of course, the toys. the spray. What's that? Spray grounds backpacks.
Right.
We need this collaboration.
Think of the SH Figure Arts.
Oh my gosh, dog. Yeah, dog. Nah, man. This is honestly like it. I was so disappointed because the animation is just.
It looks great.
It's like they hired Buddy who did the Cell Saga recap.
Yeah. Yeah, and said go crazy.
And they said, and he went ham. You know what I'm saying? That was perfect Cell for real.
Yeah, it does. But one thing you can't say about Daima looks amazing visually.
I'm like, where was this in Super, man? Why didn't y'all treat Super like this?
Go ahead.
All right, well, first of all, if you really want to do this is his take on what he would have done for GT, I felt like the time period he chose is wrong. Because first of all, right after Majin Buu is like, bro, you're trying to jam too much into that one period.
Bruh,
because technically that's where Super is introduction. Now, my thing about it is, especially with the moral arc, you hinted Oob. You hinted him. You showed him.
Mm-hmm.
So why can't Daima be like, all right, the introduction, the tournament happens because, Goten and Trunks are adults now. And, we were happy to see them in Superhero. Okay, so the tournament happens. They meet Oob. Okay, this is where you change things up. Goku doesn't have to disappear from his family again to go to Kami's lookout and train some kid he just met. What happens during that time? And guess what? You don't have to turn them into children.
You could do whatever you want with them.
You do not have to turn them into children, bro. You don't have to do that. You do not have to do that.
To enjoy.
But okay, to just for devil's advocate, I got to do it. If the parameters, because we're Americans that happen to enjoy the Dragon Ball franchise, right? We're aware of its effect, but we don't fully know how it's regarded in Japan other than what we hear, right? So in Japan, apparently they look at Goku the way that people look at Superman, of like he's just this icon of like, it's almost like, what is Dragon Ball without Goku's involvement? So it's like, if you have someone who can go Ultra Instinct, does that make for the most compelling fights when this man is, you know, approaching various levels of power if he's an adult?
Well, see, that's on them because that's on them, bro. Because first of all, bro, like, and that's the thing about it is, you know, when you think about the longevity of your franchise, you introduce all these color palette transformations and all that other stuff, but then how does it translate long term? Yes, I mean, but then you know, but then see, this is what I loved about the universe, the other universe of Saiyans. They brought such a revival back to Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, and you know, they were even reaching the next level. They revived it in such a beautiful way. It's like it showed you like, bro, these forms matter. You don't always have to move on to the next best thing. Now, yes, you know, Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego, and whatever this thing going on with Gohan and Kai Power and stuff. Yes, it's a very interesting concept. But then, you know, like, all right, if you're going to really try to get past this point, and I guess that's the crutch for everybody, you know, GT is like Street Fighter 3 and Tekken 6. Like, there's this weird issue of how do we get past this point?
Good point. Good point.
But it's like, bro, like, you're going too much back and forth. Like, yes, you know, there's a way that you can make, you know, the Kai powers or the God powers that, you know, maybe they lose them. Maybe something happens and then they just have to revert right back to their Saiyan powers. There's ways to do it, bro, and that's why I said, bro, like, because even when you introduce Super Saiyan Blue, I was like, well, bro, you kind of just made. Well, actually, no. When you gave Ultra Instinct, I was like, well, bro, you kind of made just the God transformations pointless now. Pointless. You just made it just a regular color palette.
Yeah.
Even that's how I felt about Golden and Black Frieza. I was like, bro, you already have the template.
Yeah.
All this other stuff is just foolishness. And then, yes, like I said, bro, it's toys, it's marketing, but then that's no real spirit, bro. So I really say, like, yeah, bro, that's on them. That's on them. I don't like. Yes, Goku is an icon, but it kind of just goes back to what we were saying about Street Fighter and Tekken. It's like it kind of feels like none of these decisions have like they don't stick to them.
Yes,
it's always some gimmick that they just go back to, and it's like, but where's the true progression of the story? We've been asking for years. Please, can you make Goten and Trunks a teenagers? Please.
Yeah.
You finally get it. They mess up the fusion. I was like, bro, come on. Like, and then, you know, even, you know, I would say for Vegeta. Vegeta has shown such great character depth throughout Super, but you have just cheated him out of 2 major wins. Yeah. Like, you know, yeah, first of all, you brought Frieza back, which I didn't really agree with. So you took away his win from Frieza. Because I told people what I would have done when Vegeta was beating him up, you would have saw flashbacks of when Frieza beat him up on Namek, when he was like, bah, bah. Like, it was justice. Like, he finally has able to get peace about what happened.
Yeah.
And then even with Moro, you know, Vegeta was such a pinnacle person in that fight because Vegeta felt he knows he owes the Namekians a debt. He owes them a debt for who he was. Like, he wants, like, I want to do right by these people by saving their lives in the midst of the time limit that we have. I want to be able to, like, restore what they lost, what this person took from them, because just like how this person was an invader to them, I was that to them.
And now I want to return as a protector. Yeah.
But
yeah,
no. you just renege on these choices. And that's what my issue with Dragon Ball is that they're running out of too many gimmicks, and this story is just for aesthetics, and that's what I don't like. It's just for aesthetics. Like, yes, you know, they're going to sell us the DLC characters, and, you know, especially, you know, due to the fate of the Toriyama, it's like, all right, after Daima's release, where do you stand? Are you going to continue with Super? Are you going to finish Super? Do you even know what you want to do with this black MasterCard-looking Frieza? Do you? Do you even know? And I kind of felt like it's clearly showing you, bro, that showing us they don't know what to do. They
which
don't
is
know.
which is
There's
wild
so much
because
things
yeah,
that
it's
you
wild
can
because you
do,
see
man.
what fans have come up with, and of course some of it is like ridiculousness, right? Like, oh, get them whatever, like Goku fuses with Xeno and turns like some of it's ridiculous, right? But I'm like, to your point, it's like
Angel Goku
exactly right. Angel Goku and the God of Destruction
with,
Vegeta. It's like
with,
okay,
with,
relax,
with the Gundam wings, Super
relax. You know what I'm
Saiyan.
saying? Take let's reel it back. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fans. But I think to your point, Tim, is like you just gave in 5 minutes, just you. Here is a way that you can grow Vegeta as a character rather than having an inferiority complex to Goku for the 45th time. Here's a way of like him still feeling true to his character without losing anything that makes him Vegeta. Right?
Oh my god! The baby Vegeta trailer did not help either, because I'm like, look at Vegeta just get used.
Yeah. Right.
Like
You're
baby's not
spinning your
even a
wheels.
true form. Baby's not a true form when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not. That's Vegeta.
Yeah. You're spinning your wheels on these characters and you don't have to. And like to the point of like not allowing it to go past Z, it's like that's how Goten and Trunks get ruined again, because we know at the end of the Z, they're slackers to a quote unquote, right? Like Goten doesn't want to train, Trunks is not as interested, but it's like, but if you go past Z, maybe like Gohan, they realize, you know what? Cell Max did almost destroy the Earth, and we were a liability because we didn't know how to do the fusion dance. Maybe we should take this more seriously. But you can't, because then that will contradict with the end of Z.
But it doesn't make any sense that Trunks and Goten will be slackers, because they never showed that
exactly
throughout their entire childhood.
They always love to fight.
They love to fight.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Trunks and Goten seem to be becoming even more interesting in fighting. I love the ending of Dragon Ball Z.
Well, the reason
with that
why
slice
Goten,
of life episode.
To be honest, the reason why Goten became a bum is because, remember, Gohan married Videl, who's a rich girl. So they're no longer the poor family on some farm side.
Yeah, which is fine, right? But even that is like, there's still ways that you can still have that. And like, for example, like again, using superhero as a template, it's like, yes, they kind of regress to the same old tired story with Gohan, but I appreciate that they didn't go the full way of like, he taught himself special beam cannon. It's like, okay, he's not a total. This is not the Gohan from Resurrection of Frieza arc anymore. Like he at least takes it exactly. I'm like, at least he takes it somewhat seriously still. You know, like it's just like there's certain ways you can. This is a 40-year-old franchise. It's okay. It's okay. Let these characters grow a little bit. Yeah, okay, I get it. You're afraid because you missed the mark heavily with GT, right? You weren't able to do what you wanted to do, but try it again. You're clearly not afraid of retconning. Just try it again.
You know, we did that, but yeah. We're gonna
just try it again. At this point,
I mean, boy, like, and then the thing is, you have so much concepts that were amazing from the movies. You don't think you should pull into that bag? You can have a decent arc at each movie released with some great backstory. You got an ecosystem that's forming now with the Red Ribbon Army. What if the Red Ribbon Army? What's the opposite of a Red Ribbon Army? You know, because his direct competition is going to be Bulma.
You don't even have to do Earth.
Like, you don't even have to do Earth anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, they introduced these beings in Super. They had square heads, and they look like sumo ish.
Oh yes, the protector of the Super Dragon Balls. Yeah, who knows? Who knows, bro? That's what I'm saying. It's like you have all these things. Vegeta still hasn't gone to Universe 6 to see the original planet for the Saiyans. It's like
and
you have so many things you can do. The door is wide open. And for all the shortcomings that he might have as an artist, Toro is pretty good when it comes to concepts. Moro is a good concept. Granola, not so much. But I'm like,
they gotta leave the name tradition. They gotta get away.
They also gotta get away from that, like that whole like saying revenge storyline at some point. Like it's like
It's
I was wrong. My parents were wrong 60 years ago, and now I'm going to take it out on you. It's like, okay,
plan to eradicate the Saiyans was
Part
not
6.
the best. That should have ended after that, man. That concept should have been flushed.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the same revenge story for the 45th time at all. There's just I feel like there's ways in which, we can close out the pod. Is I just think that for as much as Daima is going to be interesting visually, right? For as much as it may explore, right, of like, hey, maybe we'll go into the whole demon realm hierarchy, right? How does the boar become the king of demons? Seems like an interesting concept.
But he's dead.
Right? No, I'm just saying like that hierarchy of like, of like, how does that even work? Because we've learned more about the Kai world, right? We know more about the gods and how they operate. But it's like, okay, this is an interesting premise. But are we gonna go into it the way that like is interesting, or like, what are we doing here?
I don't know if y'all peeped in the trailer, but we got another Zamasu too.
Well, see, but that's the thing that's interesting, right? Is like apparently all the Kais in that universe look the same for a reason. Like that's an intentional choice. They're supposed to look that way. Whether they explore that or not, I don't know. But it's kind of similar to the Namekians, how like all the Namekians more or less look the same. It's the same thing. Like all the Kais look a similar way. They're like from like a divine tree or whatever the case may be that like causes them to have similar features. Which again, that's fine. Right? It's from Toriyama himself. Like I'm okay with this, but what are we doing with this concept? Are we doing anything? Is it just a way to like not have to come up with a new design? Like what's what's the end goal here? What at the end of Daima, what do I need? What do I expect to get? Yeah, right. Walk away with besides Super Saiyan 4 probably becoming canon. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. And even then that's gonna be a controversy of like, then why wouldn't he use it in Super?
Against Moro.
Against anybody.
Against Granola.
Yeah.
And that's where I think, Dragon Ball Z, they're borrowing hints from like, Heroes where it's just becoming fan fiction. Like, oh yeah, Super is and technically an entirely different universe from Z. Oh, Daima is the same thing. It's just they're just now just creating all these fan fiction universes now.
Yeah, they get animated and stuff like that.
To piggyback from Z. Like, oh yes, this happened right after that. But no, it's a different universe.
Will we ever see Vegeta's brother again? Who knows? Next time on retcons and plot holes.
Yeah, it's becoming fan fiction, bro. That's exactly what it is.
The fact that they ended Heroes, which was their money maker. Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
They ran out of ideas.
They ran out of what ifs, bro. Mm-hmm. They ran out of what ifs.
You got Bane. You got Bane Broly. Cucumber.
And some of those ideas were fire. Like S-Rank, you pointed this out. I was like, what if Turles never stopped eating the Tree of Might? That's a good concept. What if Dr. Willow did find a different body? That's a great concept. Where is this in the main timeline?
You had Hearts. I said, y'all ain't want to put the pause on Hearts and say, hey, this actually makes sense.
Yeah, let's flesh this out.
Let's flesh this out. I'm like, y'all just squandered. Even the villain of Heroes was like, you got Kabuto running around in Dragon Ball Z. Okay, I'm interested.
Yeah.
You feel me? But like, I like.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, fellas. It was an eventful pod, but we got it done. Whether it be babies in the background or disconnections at times, or just
that's gonna sound crazy on Spotify.
It is, but it is what it is, right? They'll see the journey and the progress. But once again, this is the Press Start Select podcast. I am Antonius the Gamer, Mikkel Smith, Super SSS rank. Thank you guys for joining for another episode. Appreciate the likes, comments, subscribes, and we will be back.